Hi, welcome to Auto News. Today we have a big show planned on the topic of tires. But before we get into that, I wanted to let everybody know that on premierautonews.com you can log on to that website and take a look at all of our previous shows. And as well, you can find Premier Pontiac GMC on Facebook. So the Facebookers out there can certainly turn there to get some more information, and we encourage you to look at the website to find some of our previous shows. But like I said, today we're going to talk about tires, and we have a 4-time Clapper Award winner with us today. Joe Molnar is here, and welcome, Joe.
Thank you, Jamie.
We also have Tom Casto, again, of Premier Pontiac GMC.
Hello, Jamie.
How are you?
Great, thanks.
Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and what makes you a tire specialist?
Okay, Jamie. I started working for Firestone 38 years ago, and Firestone is now Bridgestone Americas. Mm-hmm. And I first worked in a tire manufacturing plant in Decatur, Illinois, and then mostly designed, developed tires for original equipment on vehicles like Pontiacs, and GMC was one of my customers, and
okay.
BMW. So I've got a background in design development of tires, and we want to talk about tires today.
Well, good. Good. So, where should we start? What's the first thing that you want to inform some of our viewers about?
Well, tires, again, a tire, you know, if you're riding along at 80 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, basically a tire footprint is about this big.
Okay.
So your whole vehicle, your 6,000-pound vehicle, only has that much contact with the road. So you need to appreciate tires, mm-hmm. and they're very important, but people don't appreciate them. Tom and I had a little conversation before, but Tom's first question, let's go to our first slide, is what do all the things on the side of the tires mean? So I brought up a little slide 1, and if you look at that, I've got all sorts of information on the side of the tire. Some of this we'll go into later, but you've got the manufacturer's name, the Goodyear, the Michelin, the Bridgestone, and the tire name, and that'll be the unique part to the tire. Up on the top there, you have the tire size, P205, 65, R15, 92T. Well, that's kind of confusing to people, but we'll explain that a little bit.
Almost sounds
later.
Like a football play.
Yeah, it does.
You hear these football guys calling out these numbers and things like that.
What the heck is that? And there's also something called a UTQG mark on the tire, and we'll talk a little bit about that. There's a serial on the tire that identifies when the tire was manufactured and has information from the dealer. It also has the construction of the tire. Most tires now are polyester body ply, steel cord belts, and nylon cap plies, so you don't have to worry about that. So again, a lot of this we're going to talk about is really pretty technical, and what I'm going to emphasize is that, you know, if you go to a tire dealer, a reputable tire dealer, or a car dealership that sells tires, they're going to know about these things, and they'll be able to advise you, because it does get really complicated if you're not really into it. So let's go to the first thing is the tire size. Like Tom said, it's really pretty complicated. So let's go to our second slide, and maybe we can figure that out. The first part of the tire size is the P. That stands for passenger, or it might be LT for light truck, or there might not be a P, and we'll explain that a little bit later. The 205 we see up there is the section width of the tire in millimeters. Again, the bigger the tire, the more load it can take. So that's the width of the tire. 75 series is the ratio of the height of the tire to the width of the tire. So a 75 series tire is 75% as high as it is wide. A 50% aspect ratio tire is only 50% high as it is wide. There's a Z there, which is, you usually don't see, that's a speed rating. R stands for radial, so you're basically going to always see radial tires from now on. 15 is the diameter of the wheel in inches, and that's pretty straightforward. And after that you started seeing, you see on all tires now, 94 is a load index, and we'll talk about that. That's a comparison to how much load the tire can carry. And when you replace a tire, you always want to replace a tire with the same load carrying capacity that the original tire had. The last letter indicates the speed that the tire is rated for. So putting all that together basically explains the tire size, and by doing that, it tells a lot about the tire. So that's the first thing. That's the size. And again, that might be a little bit complicated, but as we go through here and make comparisons,
whoever would have thought there was that much information on a tire?
It'll be a little bit easier.
Well, it's amazing that those numbers really mean something.
Yeah, exactly.
They're very important too. Let's go to our third slide. One thing we can explain real easily is the speed symbol. And that's the last, we saw a T speed symbol. And basically that's the speed that your tires are rated for. And again, the question might be, well, why do you want a V speed rated tire that goes 149 miles an hour? The answer is because the vehicle can go 149 miles an hour. And we're required by law, original equipment tire manufacturers are required by law to fit the vehicle with a tire that is certified for the speed the vehicle can go.
Joe, not to interrupt you, just happened this week down at the dealership. We had a customer that had his car required a V-rated tire.
V-rated came on it.
Yeah, okay, it came on it, and he wanted to replace his tires, and there was a difference in tire prices between a V-rated and a non-V-rated, I guess. And do you have to put a V-rated tire on a vehicle? I mean, because I know there was some discussion between our service advisor and the customer about really what you should be doing.
That's a really good question. Again, the answer is yeah, you can put a lesser speed rated tire on the vehicle, but we tell our dealers are required, if you have a V rated tire that goes 149 miles an hour, you replace it with a T that's 118 miles an hour. You really need to inform the customer, this is what we're doing, and our dealers, they actually have to sign it off. They have to sign a form that says, yes, it's been explained to me that I now have a tire that doesn't have the speed rating capability of the tire that it replaced. So you're doing it's different than the tire that it replaced, and there's going to be a trade-off. The tire with the lesser speed rating is probably not going to handle as well as the V-rated tire, the H-rated or the T-rated, but it's probably going to ride a little bit better. So there's going to be trade-offs and there's going to be differences there. So when you replace it, there's going to be a difference, and that's why we say you need to tell the customer that there's a difference.
Well, that's what they were doing, and there is some liability if you don't. There's possibly or whatever.
Well, again, our dealers need to tell the customers that there's a change and they need to be aware of it.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, good. So let's go to slide number 4. There's something called UTQG, or Uniform Tire Grading. This is a government requirement that on the tire they have ratings for tread wear, traction, and temperature. And all tires sold in the United States, all passenger tires sold in the United States have to have this. It's an indication of the tire's performance. The wear indicator is a number, and basically it's used in comparison for how long the tire is expected to wear. It doesn't really say that it's good for X number of miles, but it's only good for comparison. And if you buy tires through a reputable dealer, dealers will have a whole line of tires, and again, they'll have 60,000 mile tires, 80,000 mile tires, 40,000 mile tires. That's an indication of the mileage you're going to expect. The traction is a composite of wet and dry traction run on a trailer. AA is the highest rating, C is the lowest. Temperature is a rating for the speed capability of the tire. All tires in the United States for passenger cars need to be rated for at least 85 miles an hour. So the closer you are to A, the better it is. The higher the tread number, the better it is. But really, again, you need to talk to your tire dealer, and he can show you tires with different ranges. And again, a tire that's really good for traction might ride harsh. So again, you need to talk to your dealer and make sure that you understand what you're getting.
Sure.
And what the pros and cons are for each.
Right. And again, it's mandated by the government. It's intended to show the tire's performance, and it does a fairly good job of that. But the tire dealer is going to be able to show you tires that have different levels of performance and explain to you, because a lot of times tires are warranted for 60,000 miles, 40,000 miles.
Okay.